Hi there. We're going to be doing a study of palm trees, and over the years I collect visuals that inspire me, and I really loved this piece. Let's see. It's by Taylor Barnes, done in 1986. I thought it was really quite beautiful. And then this piece is from the vault at Pepperdine University, and it is Robert Dunahay, called The Blue Shadow, 2001. So you can see it's really extraordinary. The colors, it's just vibrant. It's I don't know what else to say about it other than I love it. So what you're going to need for this is you're going to need watercolor. You are also going to need a cup of water, a brush, a rag, and oil pastels. So basically I've done up two backgrounds, and I wanted to kind of think about what I wanted to do, which palm tree piece I wanted to do. And I decided that I think we would do this one. And I just loved the colors and the background. We're going to do something similar, but not quite exactly the same. So what I've done is I've used I think 6 by, let's see, I've used this size, which I think is doable. It's the Mixed Media 7 by 10 inch. Mixed Media is perfect because you can use acrylic, watercolor, pencil, and pen, even crayon, but I wouldn't use crayon on it because it's really good paper. So what I've done with my watercolor is I've done a blue background and a kind of blue, pinkish orange foreground. So the background is behind these kind of hills, and I've added on some orange as well, and then I've let it dry. So if you wanted it to be darker, you could add another layer of paint to it. But I think I'm just going to use my oil pastels to darken it up a little bit, and then create my palm trees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my oil pastels. I've got a 36 pack color oil pastels, and I'm just going to start with like a kind of a mustardy color, just to kind of draw out my trees. So I'm going to start. Now make sure that this is dried before you start, and mine is dry. And then I'm going to kind of draw a line going up towards the top of the paper. And then I'm just going to kind of draw, and this is more stylized. It's obviously not realistic. You can just go out and look anywhere in Los Angeles and see realistic palm trees. And I'm going to draw what looks like a flower on my painted background. And then I'm going to just draw a smaller version of that. And then again, just kind of make, almost looks like some petals. This is going to be smaller because it's further in the distance. And then I'm going to draw one more on the left side of my paper. And draw it a little bit lower, make it slightly bigger. And then kind of just draw out the palm fronds. Now, if you just wanted to limit it to a couple of your trees, that's fine. And then you can really start developing it. So what I wanted to show you in this piece are all the beautiful colorations that you see. And And then what we're going to do is we're going to just start building up the colors. Now, in this particular painting, you'll notice that there are pinks, purples, white, orange, greens, and blues throughout, and maybe a little bit of yellow throughout the trees. So what I'm going to start to do is I'm going to pull some pink. Let's see. And you can always have a separate piece of paper to test your oil pastel color to see how you like it. And I'm just going to kind of add some of the pink, not filling up the palm fronds, but adding to it. And when you see that this is stylized, it's a kind of a style of the artwork. You know it's a palm tree. You certainly get that when you see this painting. And I'm going to add some more. And what I do recommend you do is that you press firmly with your oil pastels. If you don't, it won't have this beautiful thickness to it. And I think that's important to see. You want it to be more like a painting than not. So you can kind of look at some of the other pinks that you may have. The 36 pack has some nice range of colors. This, when I say stylized, it's rather abstract when you look at it. And I'm just adding some of the really darker pink sections to the sides of my lighter pink that I've just added. And you want to be careful where your wrist is when you're working on this. You don't want to, I'm just going to make this a little wider. You don't want to smear your pastel, so you could use a rag and put it underneath your wrist. And I'm going to go in with some kind of brighter green. And I do notice a little bit of purple. And I'm not covering up any of my previous colors that I have. I'm adding to. And I'm kind of just randomly moving some of this color out. Again, not covering up, but highlighting and enhancing the other colors. So you could say this is also kind of abstract, where you know what it is, but it has kind of a different feel. Okay, I'm gonna find some lighter green. This is what I wanted. Make sure that you can wipe off your pastel, make it clean, and then continue on. Again, not covering up, but adding to some of the areas that you have already colored in. Kind of working it and I see some purple. add some purple to the trunk of the tree. And kind of remind me of windmills when you look at them. Now each piece of work that you do will not look exactly like what we're inspired by, and that's okay. And I'm just moving my colors around. Being able to see the colors that I've used before. Okay, I see some kind of yellow. And then I'm going to go to my white. I want to clean it off if it's dirty. And add some pressure to your white so it gives it that beautiful painterly feel to it. Kind of fill in any spaces that you've missed. And we're going to lighten the side. Of our trees. And it's okay if part of your leaf goes right off the edge of your paper. I'm going to add a little bit of orange to it also. I think I did that earlier. I just want to add some more in parts of it. Okay. And I'm going to add a little bit of black. Be careful with the black. Black can be oh so powerful and very overwhelming if you're using it too much. Okay, now you can also add more to your background if you wanted to kind of get more of a rich color. And you can blend some of that in. As you can see, I'm just using a little bit and kind of rubbing it on the paper. And then you can use a finger, and you see I didn't blend it in. Make sure your finger's clean. I didn't blend in my trees. Okay, and I may want to add some orange to some of my background. Like I said, you can go darker with your blues, or you can make your watercolor stronger. But when you do blend in, make sure your fingers are clean. Okay, and then I want to add a bit of a shadow. So my light source is coming from the left side, because you can see how the sides of the trees are much lighter, and the light is cast to the side at an angle, at a diagonal. So I'm gonna add, now the shadows should be the last part that you add. In your piece. And you could also, on this longer one, add the shadow of the palm fronds. Watch your fingers. You don't want to get any black, smudgy sections on your art. Okay, so you can develop a little bit more. What I suggest is, if you do want to add some more to it, then you can move your paper around in different directions. I may add a little bit of yellow to this. Again, my fingers are not clean, so I have to make sure that my fingers are clean if I'm going to add any more to my background. But this is going to be a very simple abstract of palm trees, and they're really quite lovely to see. And you may want to add some more detail to your piece. Just be mindful of your messy fingers. Okay, so this is just a very simple one-day project. You can do some more details on it if you'd like, perhaps add a little bit more color to your background, blend it in, or just use your watercolor and make it slightly darker, and then go from there. Okay, thank you so much, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.